As a Shonen Jump fan, it's always endlessly frustrating to see developers drop the ball on what should essentially be the easiest slam dunk in the world. A crossover game that celebrates the history of this cool magazine with respect and admiration. But I guess if they won't even put out labors of love for series on an individual basis, I can't really expect something with all of these dudes to be good, right? Well, in this video I want to take a look at a platform fighter that I adore. Not only because the game rules, but because it's probably the greatest tribute to the manga medium in digital form. Battle Stadium Dawn is a jump crossover event that flips the platform fighter genre on its head by... Okay, I'm kidding. This video is about Jump Ultimate Stars. Now before I go over the actual gameplay, let me indulge myself with a little story time and take y'all back to the glorious year of 2006, cause this was my Shonen Jump heyday. I was in middle school reading anything and everything I could, and had already graduated to reading scanlations of Naruto Shippuden while my classmates were still in the Chunin exams. Yeah, I was that annoying guy that just had to let everyone know that I knew what was gonna happen later, and trust me, it's crazy. But thankfully, I had some like-minded friends who were deep in the shonen trenches, and at one faithful sleepover, one of them whipped out a little DS game called Jump Superstars that would blow my mind. This was a portable shonen jump fighting game that played like Smash, which is everything a mid-2000s kid could ever wish for. But what was crazy at the time was that it didn't just have characters from the big three. It had characters from all of the shonen manga like Gon from Hunter x Hunter, or Light from Death Note. And even characters from manga that never really caught on in the West, like Train from Black Cat, or Suna from Reborn. And this inclusion in particular was huge for me, cause I loved Reborn back then. Most shocking of all though, was that there were also a bunch of characters that I had never seen before, like this old dude, and this guy with a flute. I then realized I didn't know shit about manga. So I spent all night trying my best to navigate the Japanese menus just to mess with all of these characters, and felt like I had hit the peak of video games when I saw Kakashi fight the dude from the Capcom fighting game on this tiny 3-inch DS screen. After that night, I went home and begged and cried for my mom to buy this game for me, cause this was before the R4 days, so we actually had to buy our DS games. And when I finally got the game, I played the hell out of it and absolutely loved it. Even though most of my time was spent reading translated game fact guides so I could unlock all of the characters and just mess with them solo in training mode. Cause, shockingly, there weren't too many opportunities for me to actually play this game competitively at the time. But about a year later this would change, cause I went to another sleepover at that same friend who introduced me to Jump Superstars' house, where he had the shocking revelation that there was already a sequel called Jump Ultimate Stars that had way more characters and more importantly, an online mode, where he's been able to fight Japanese players, which obviously represented the peak of possible gaming skill to a bunch of American kids. This marked a crucial moment for me, because Jump Ultimate Stars would be the first fighter that I'd actively participate in while its meta was still being developed, because every other fighter I was interested in had ancient tapes I could already study. But spoiler alert, the online of course sucked. It was a DS Wi-Fi game. But honestly, the lag wasn't even the worst part to us, cause the toxic meta probably drove us more crazy. But we can get into that later, cause let me finally explain why this game rules beyond just the premise. Jump Ultimate Stars is a simple platform fighter that can be played by up to 4 players. Unlike Smash, you have a traditional health bar with no stocks, so once you hit 0, that character's dead. But that doesn't mean you can't get knocked off the stage. Stages in Jump Ultimate Stars are rectangular boxes of all different shapes and sizes, with their own gimmick and platform layout that are based on the various different manga series in the game. But the most interesting part is that the battles on screen are taking place within an issue of Jump, so you can rip open the corners of the pages by attacking them to get rid of the corner and create instant death pits for the rest of the match. Characters have a light and strong attack, and holding a direction will give you different moves. Attacking can feel a bit stiff, but characters' normals kind of flow into each other like they were meant to be chained. And then every character also has 2 supers that cost a bar each to perform, and these supers range in utility drastically from character to character, and are generally the most fun part of a character's kit. I used to just spend hours going into training just to mess with these character supers. And thankfully the game is relaxed enough to let you string together some cool combos to do some crazy damage. But there are some key components that make this game way more interesting that I haven't mentioned, that is probably driving the fans of this game who are watching crazy. You see, Jump Ultimate Stars is a team game. You can switch characters on the fly, like instantly, almost at any time. But that's not all, because you also have assists, which can range from things like Krillin throwing a Destructo Disc, Chelly Jiggler grabbing the opponent, Hanamichi dunking, which gives you a power buff, or Light coming out and literally writing the opponent's name in the death note. Assists are what make this game fun, because it opens up the combo and pressure game a ton, even though some of them are a tad bit overtuned and can kinda play the game for you, but we'll get back to that. So even though we got a Shonen Jump tag team platform fighter with assists, which is enough to instantly make this game a classic for me, what really makes this game special, and a true celebration of Shonen Jump, is how you actually build out your team. I've been hiding the bottom screen of the DS this entire time, because that's where your team lives, and you switch characters and call out assists by tapping them on the touchscreen. The reason they're all weird shapes though, is because you have to build your team by creating your own page of manga panels. Every character and assist in this game are made of differently sized and shaped manga panels that you then have to organize on a 4x5 square grid. Playable characters are made up of panels that consist of 4 to 8 squares, while assists are made up of 2 or 3 square panels, and 1 square panels are support panels that give certain characters buffs based on their relationship. At the minimum, you need 1 playable character, 1 assist, and 1 support to create a team, but there are no rules beyond that. So you could try to fit as many characters or assists that you want on your team. A character's health and strength directly correlate to the number of squares that make up a panel, so an 8-panel character should be stronger than a 4-panel character, but the 8-panel character takes up more room and might be harder to organize your page with. This system is genuinely genius to me, because it makes team building way more involved and way more personal than just picking your faves and calling it a day. You might have to go out of your comfort zone or think outside the box to create something optimal, because some characters just don't come in the right Tetris shape you need. But don't fret, because there is some leeway. Every character in the game comes in multiple different shaped and sized panels, so if you can't fit an 8-panel Kinshiro on your team, you might be able to fit a 4-panel Kinshiro. But that of course comes at the cost of the 4-panel Kinshiro being weaker than the 8-panel Kinshiro. This is nuts because this means there are multiple versions of every character, and some of them have different attacks, supers, and even sprites between the different panels. Like 4-panel Naruto is just regular old Naruto, but his 8-panel is his one-tail Kyuubi form. Now not every character in this game is playable, because a lot of them only exist as assist panels, but most playable characters have assist versions of their own, so team building is kinda limitless. And this is just a side note, as kids, we definitely use this game for our power scaling arguments, because not every character gets 8-panel versions of their characters, so we would base the relative strength of jump characters on this game. Also yeah, you probably noticed, but every panel in this game is taken straight from a manga, which memorialize important and iconic character moments. I still get so hyped coming across one of these panels from the game in the wild while reading manga even today. I read One Piece for the first time over 15 years after this game came out, and flipped out when I got to the 6 square Zoro panel. Also, I'm just a manga reading purist who never really watches anime, so I always appreciate when games adapt the manga versus the anime. Maybe that's why I love Super Dragon Ball Z so much too. There are over 40 playable characters and too many assists to count, so let me do a speedrun of all the different series that are represented in this game. We got Black Cat, Bleach, Bobobo, Fuso Rinken, Captain Tsubasa, Cobra, D. Greyman, Dr. Slump, Death Note, Dragon Ball, Eyeshield 21, Fist of the North Star, Gintama, Hoshin Ingi, Hunter x Hunter, Eyes, Ichigo 100%, Jigoku Sensei Nube, JoJo's, Jungle King Tarchan, Kinnikuman, Kochikame, Majin Tante Nogami Nero, Midori no Makibao, Moyo and Roji's Bureau of Supernatural Investigation, Naruto, Ninku, One Piece, Pyu Tafuku Jaguar, Reborn, Roku Donashi Blues, Rurouni Kenshin, Saint Seiya, Sakigake Otojojuku, Shaman King, Slam Dunk, The Prince of Tennis, Totemo Lucky Man, Yu-Gi-Oh!, and finally Yu Yu Hakusho. That's a lot of manga to choose from. But sadly, a lot of these series wouldn't be represented competitively at the time, because the meta would be quickly dominated by the Big Three. I know even muttering that name sent shivers down all Jump Ultimate players' spines. The Big Three were 3 assists that were so powerful, they essentially played the game for you. They were made up of 3-panel Trunks, 3-panel Seiya, and 3-panel Senna. Trunks and Seiya can be used basically at any time, and come out so fast that they stop the opponent from being able to hit you, while also doing dumb damage themselves. While the Senna assist can only be used on the ground, but is so hard to stop, and if it hits you, it takes 2 bars of your meter away, while also turning you around and giving you a debuff that doesn't let you move. Yeah, just a bit stupid. The Big Three got so bad that they basically got soft banned from the community, but this was only the first problem. Once action replays and R4s became common in the DS community, people started to cheat in online games like crazy, which eventually led to people creating glitch panels that would give them unlimited super meter. Yeah, playing online was a bit of a mixed bag back then, but once you found some honorable opponents who weren't trying to cheese you on McDonald's free Wi-Fi, the game was a lot of fun, even if a bit simple nowadays. I really cherished those nights that I'd play the laggiest and worst matches ever, where I'd try to cheese my way to victory with the Hitsugaya and Killua team, cause I was young and edgy. Both of these games have a lot of sentimental and nostalgic value to me, but I also don't think it's crazy to say that these tiny ambitious games clear most Shonen Jump fighters, simply due to the fact that they feel like they respected not only the players, but the magazine these characters actually come from. Now, my most wanted fighter ever would be a Capcom vs Shonen Jump team fighter, but I obviously wouldn't mind a new Jump game that's a spiritual successor to this series, cause I need to see Sakamoto fight Reborn. I mean, come on, it writes itself. But I kinda hold my breath for these types of things, cause we've been burned many times before. Thankfully though, both games in the Jumpstart series have been fully translated to English, and can even be played online through emulation, so it's never too late to play these amazing games. Thanks!